Hello and welcome to our Elevation and INC family. A particular big welcome if it's your first time joining us online here at Elevation. My name is Brad and I'm on team here, and we have got an action-packed service for us today. We have our lead pastors, Ross and Kathy Abraham, catching up with our location pastors from our Tamworth location, Pastors Josiah and Olivia Wall, and they're just unpacking in an open and honest conversation, just unpacking what God has been speaking to them about in this season that we've just gone through. Honestly, great conversation, so I'm looking forward to hearing that. But before we do that, we've got a great time of worship that our creative team has put together. So hey, come on, why don't we stand right now, wherever you may be, in your living room, wherever it is, why don't you stand as we worship God together.
Break down every wall. place of my heart. You found me, you freed me, held back the waters for my release. Oh, Yahweh, you're the God who fights for me, Lord of every victory. Hallelujah, hallelujah. You have torn apart the sea, you gaze transfixed on Jesus' face. We open our hearts to you, Lord. As we feast on you, Lord. Son of God, Son of heaven, Son of Jesus, Jesus, love, to break through the dark with morning glory, Jesus. Then all praise of the Lord God, praise His name forevermore. We will sing your praise, oh Lord,
Hey, welcome Elevation Church and any of our INC family. So great to be with you today. We have the incredible privilege of having a heart-to-heart with Pastors Josiah and Olivia Wall, who are our dear friends, known them for many, many years. First worked closely with these guys in Denver, Colorado, and that's actually where you both met, isn't it? So welcome.
That's right.
To my beautiful wife, Kathy, Josiah and Olivia. That's where you met.
Yeah, that's right.
In the church in Denver.
Yes, sparks flew, emotions ran high.
It was a setup.
It was.
Tell us about it.
Blind date.
I remember that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I remember
It was so awkward.
so clearly.
yeah,
So awkward at the Starbucks.
yeah. We were both youth pastors at the time.
Yeah. And someone in my church at the time, your church at the
Yeah,
time.
our church.
Yeah, our church. Let's say our church at the time. We're like, you got to meet this guy. He's got so much in common. And I'm like,
So
yeah,
good looking.
nah.
Yeah.
Can do
I
so
saw
many
a
push-ups.
photo of him and he was a little chubby. So I didn't want to meet him. That's so
Sure.
shallow.
Wow.
Yeah, swimming can be shallow. And then, yeah, they now harassed me enough that we met at a Starbucks.
Yeah.
And he didn't say a word.
No, I was quite shy.
So shy,
Really?
Yeah.
so quiet.
Did he
and
pay?
his friends.
Yeah.
Yes, I
I
think.
think I did buy your coffee at least.
Wow.
There was that, and then
But it was
eventually
also then you had friends there,
Yeah.
and they were there, and it was kind of a group thing, and
That's right.
it was awkward.
Yeah, and eventually I worked up the courage. This is a very courageous thing. Not to say like, oh, can I have your number? I'd take you out sometime. I was like, oh,
know what you're
I'm a
gonna
youth
say.
pastor and you're a youth pastor. Not in these words, this is my paraphrase. I'm a youth pastor, you're a youth pastor. It's summer, maybe we could do like a combined youth event with our youth ministries. Can I have your number?
Hey.
And
So-
she gave it to me, yeah. The rest is history.
The rest is history.
That's right.
Yeah,
14
Olivia
years.
was, for some of our time in Denver, she was our youth pastor slash
Everything.
PA slash accountant
Everything.
slash,
Whatever you needed.
as well as
Yeah.
working part-time. Tell us about the super glue incident.
Oh no. Okay, I super glued my eye shut.
Yes.
Being a really diligent youth pastor, I was driving the kids home in the
so remember
church
that.
minivan. Remember that
Yeah,
minivan?
yeah.
And I was taking them back, and I was needing to, meet a parent in the parking lot at, I think it was Lowe's or Coles, but it's not our
Yeah, look,
Coles.
we're on a time limit here. We don't need This is the female version. And then it was a nice night. You know, the moon was out. We didn't write a lot of stuff.
So, okay, speed version. I had super glue in my thing because I used to put fake nails on, and I decided that my eyes were dry because I had contacts in, and decided to put it straight in my eye.
Thinking
and
it was
Eye drops.
thinking it was
Yeah.
eye drops, and
It was super glue.
and I end up in emergency.
Instant bonding, super glue.
Instant bonding.
So I glued my eyes shut, and I had to literally pry it open, rip off all my eyelashes in the hospital. I did it myself.
And your contact lens saved
And
your eye.
my contact
Wow.
lens. Yeah.
Were our kids in the van at the same time, or had you already dropped them off?
No, your kids weren't on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Just-
so they were
That's fine then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tara.
it could be a little bit of a HR issue.
I don't think I did an incident report.
Hey, here we are. We are over a year in since you guys moved from Gold Coast to Tamworth. And so what we thought would be great is just unpack a little bit about what that has been like. So a year plus in, where are we at?
It's been fun. It's been an adventure. Probably is a good word.
Yeah.
Because different culture, different everything, different space, different capacity of leadership needed, and an adventure. I like that word. That's a better word than fun, actually, because an adventure has pain in it too. Like there's no adventure that. Any great adventure story has conflict and ups and downs and wins and losses and battles and we've had all of that, but it's been great.
Yeah. Best move for us as a family.
Wow.
Kids have settled really well.
Like we feel like.
Wow. How have the kids
Yeah.
gone?
The kids-
With, like school and settling and friends and
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the church was smaller when we first got here, and a lot of the kids were older
Yeah.
in the church, which was great, but obviously your kids need to adapt to similar age. And so school's been, we picked a Christian school, which is the first time for us because Isabella was going through a bit of a rough journey at her previous school, just some bullying and things like that.
Was
So
that
she was
at
very
the Gold
sensitive
Coast?
on the Gold Coast.
Yeah.
So I think for her, we were very mindful of this transition's already big because she's leaving her
Yeah.
friends she's grown up with
Yeah.
and all familiar and coming to a small church in a country town, going to a new school. It's a big transition for her, especially
Big.
at her age.
Yeah.
And so we just thought, well, okay, we went and met the principal. He was amazing, loves Jesus. And we were like, okay, we've got a piece about it.
Wow.
She went straight into a class. She ended up doing drama in front of the whole school. Like,
Yeah.
they don't even do that
Just
usually.
took to it
Like,
straight away.
Which is
Just
so your
super-
daughter.
yeah.
like, she's in her element.
Yeah.
Feels like she runs the place, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's done really well. And Austin's just kind of tagged along because he's a bit more quieter.
Yeah.
But he started school this year and he's done well. Like, he's, he likes to be at home. Let's
Yeah.
be real. But,
Yeah.
they've done good. And Sophia, well, she's just a ball of fun and just kind of rolls with it. She
Yeah.
hugs everybody.
Super
Other
outgoing.
than guys, she only hugs ladies. Like, she's weird with guys anyway.
Yeah.
But they've done well.
Yeah.
And they've kind of adapted. They've had days where they've just cried, especially
Yeah.
Bella, where they're just like, I don't want to be here anymore. I want to go back to my friends.
wow.
I want
Yeah.
to. Why can't I have Sienna? That's her best friend, obviously, on the Gold Coast. She's like, why can't we just play right now? They should come over. And I'm like, it's a big drive, babe. Like,
Hey,
so we've had to
7 hours
navigate.
is doable.
So we've had to
a
navigate
beautiful
her
drive.
disappointment sometimes.
Yeah.
Like just, and you're like, oh, as a parent, you can go, oh, was that the right thing? But all in all, I think we're all personally thriving, and that makes
So
it
good.
okay. And you just let those days be days. Like there's been days where you're just like, I don't want to go and clean the church again. Like I'm just really, I don't. Can we go and do something else?
Yeah.
I don't, But at the end of the day, it's like you feel like you're building at the same time. So it's that bittersweet on
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
when you're building.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the ground floor of culture setting is fun because so much is undefined.
Yeah.
And it's really hard because so much is undefined, you know? And so that's had its, awesome
Great
wins
highs,
and
yeah,
moments and
amazing,
highs, and then also had the moments like what she's saying where it's, when you're more on the ground floor and there's a lot more hands-on and there's a lot more that you're establishing rather than, I think on the Gold Coast, it was a lot more, the house was built, you guys had laid a foundation and it was a little bit more of remodeling. You're like, oh, let's put this picture here. This was it. And this is like putting bricks in the mud sometimes,
Yeah.
And so it's so important, but sometimes doesn't feel as flashy
Yes.
or as like where you sit back and go, boy, those bricks look good. You know what I mean? It's like, no, are they straight? Are they going to last? All right, then let's move on. You know what I mean? Like, and so it's been an adventure in that sense too, of just establishing.
So when it comes to your marriage, let's say, like
I'm glad you brought that up.
yeah, well, you know, you
That's
did.
really why we're here.
You did ask me to bring it up, and you know you're afraid to talk to Liv by yourself.
Yeah.
So
I'm in a safe place amongst everybody here.
yeah, and this is just amongst us. What have you found? Good, the bad, the challenging, even in relationally between you guys, because you know your function may be pastoring, but today we've got, you know, so many other people, whether in marriage, whether it's in their business, in their whatever's going on in their world. What have you found in your marriage has been tested and has triumphed, and maybe is you know still a work in progress?
Well, one of the things I think for us is we are doing this together, with the church stuff, and so that has that's been a lot of fun and has a really good side to it. But then also like we're husband and wife, and we're the staff team. So sometimes there's moments it's like, are we having a husband and wife chat, or is this a team meeting? I'm not sure. Like, you know, can I write you a letter of, you know, should I send this in an email? And so that has its moments. One of the things for us is because of a smaller congregation, I've gone to part-time for church, and I have another job that I do as well, and I actually am away for that job pretty regularly. So 1, 2, sometimes more, 3 nights a week, I can actually be away at work. And so then Liv is in single mom mode in those times.
So when you come home, are you fitting into single mum mode?
Sometimes.
Or does Dad come home, take his shirt off and flex his muscle and go, Dad's back home?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, it's been an adjustment, because the thing is, like, you know, you have to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know, you got kids, you got school, you got, and then you've got church, you got work to do, so it's just keeping everything moving. And then he comes back and he's like, well, where do I fit?
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, you do fit. It's just, this is the system that's going to help me keep going.
Just follow the system.
Wow.
So we've had to navigate that a
Absolutely.
bit. That's brought a bit of tension every now and then,
Yeah.
and making, like, I've had to just learn to stop and embrace
Yeah.
and enjoy, like, but there is a lot of space out here, and we've had to adapt to that even as a married couple. It's a slower pace out here.
Wow.
It's not so rinky-dinky that you're like, oh, there's a horse rider right across street there. I'm not saying it's that, but I'm like, it is a slower pace. The demand isn't for what latest cafe you're going to and what latest shops you're shopping at. It's, to be honest, it's all about the connection with the individuals that are in your life. Like, they're very personal.
Yeah.
So it's like country living where it's like, all right, we're all just going to hang for a couple of hours. And I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
let's
Which I
hang for a
think
couple
you
of hours. We
say
had to undo.
That's about Tamworth in the country, but isn't it funny, because really that's what COVID's done
COVID has done
to
that so
the big
much.
city people
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think
Which I've
that's
loved,
just
because I think
quite
it's been the best thing.
an amazing thing
Yeah.
of maybe
Yeah.
the future forward is for all of us to slow down a little bit and
Enjoy.
take the time to actually enjoy the people that are in our life. So
Yeah.
I think that's amazing
Yeah.
that you guys came into that culture. So how did COVID then affect you guys and church and
Well, with the church,
work and-
it was frustrating because we had some really good
felt some
momentum
momentum
happening.
going.
And you know, I've seen some things or heard different people from around the country or world or something. People be like, "Oh, the break was so good," and I was like, we didn't want to stop. We were like, we felt like
we were talking
yeah.
about maybe a second service.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
felt like momentum was happening. And
Yeah.
we're like,
And so that was the
it's
frustrating
gone.
thing for us is because we were just starting, and then it sort of just restarted us. Wow. But that's okay.
Yeah.
It also went to clarify that much further what does matter for us, and so that's been a positive too.
yeah.
Wow.
And it's been good to spend some extra time with the kids around and
Yeah,
family
no,
around.
it's been fun.
Homeschooling was
Yeah.
hilarious
Oh my gosh.
and hard and.
I don't even know half the stuff. I had to Google it.
And I was like, it's the letter R, Liv. It's the letter R. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Just before we close, you said before that Josiah's been working, or I think he might have said, one of you guys said, and you've also picked up some part-time work, which, you know, I mean, Just so proud of you guys. Talk us a little bit about your work and how that is.
Well, I'm going to be a teacher aide at my kid's school, so which is exciting.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the next chapter.
Are you able to Google in class how to help the kids there as well?
I hope so. I haven't found out that yet.
Okay.
I only start next term. But I think for us, like, we really want to buy a home.
Yeah.
We want to start that journey for us as a family unit.
Yeah.
And that's possible here. Like, and so both of us working, obviously with the church the size it is right now, it's doable. Like, it's not, we're not overcommitting. We don't feel like we've got an incredible team that's come around us that,
So good.
honestly, it's just amazing how they all even came in. So I feel like going back to work, I think it's just a fun adventure. I'm like, and it's at my kid's school, so it's going to have that benefit. I'm excited about it, actually.
So what do you do, Josiah? What?
Well, sit around the house mostly, catch a nap whenever I can.
Yeah, good, good.
Well, what I've been doing is laboring. So
Okay.
like I've been on building sites and stuff.
Oh, he built these, actually, the wooden things. Just putting that out there.
These things, hey,
Yes.
hey, just look at your hands.
Yeah. So my hands are a bit
No
more
calluses.
calloused than they
Yeah.
used to be.
And can
Yeah,
you show us
but-
what's on your
Oh
head?
yeah, and I got a cut on my head, right here. That's
Right
from
there.
some tin I ran into.
Yeah.
I hurt myself most days. Honestly. Yeah, it's I'm all of my work before then was all music or then like
media.
laptops,
Yeah.
all nerd stuff. And then all of a sudden I'm surrounded by guys and they're like, oh, grab the 90 by 45 4-fold level and then this has to be plumb and flush. And I'm like, okay, we come out and just carry a drill out. I'm like, is this what you wanted?
Google plumb and flush.
Yeah. Level, plumb, flush. There's a whole thing. And so it's been fun though too, because it's really broadened my perspective in a funny way too,
Yeah.
because I'm the only one on the job site who has faith.
Yeah.
They actually call me a man of the cloth or a priest or things like that. And so, somebody will swear or somebody do something. It's like, oh, hey, well, watch that. We got the man of the cloth over here. And I actually just love rolling with that and having a bit of laugh with them and hopefully defying some expectations.
Yeah.
And when I think maybe they're seeing if they can push buttons or get me offended or this and that I can hopefully laugh it off and maybe bring some light or some, hey, that Christianity doesn't mean you have to be a weirdo.
Yeah.
At least as much as I can prove that point.
Yeah, sure.
So, I've been doing some building the church and building houses.
Well, we want to say that we're so proud of you guys.
Yeah.
And,
Lovely being
Thanks,
here.
guys.
yeah, we love this city and we know that you came for a reason. There's the ability to expand here and this is just the beginning.
Yeah.
And we're committed to you both, committed to what Elevation is called to do in this region and beyond.
Yeah.
And so we're excited about your future. So appreciate you both. And we're going to dive into a little bit of time now where I'm going to spend some time with Josiah and just unpacking just a few questions about what God may have been up to over the last 3 months. So see you soon. I thought it would be great just in the next few moments to chat with Josiah and just unpack a little bit about what we feel God may be up to. Let me ask you this question.
Yep.
And you may look at us and go, we're both bald, glasses and beards. We're not related, but we are going...
This is what perfection looks like, Ross.
That's right.
So, those of you out there with hair, I'm sorry.
Yeah. And we are off to a Chubba Chub convention straight after this. So if for the last 3 months,
Yep.
if you had a thought around what do you think you've discovered about yourself
Yeah.
and what do you think you've discovered about Jesus over these last 3 months, what would it be?
About myself would be how much I love control. How much that, I think not so much in like, manipulating everyone or pulling all the strings, but for me, feeling like I'm in control for me personally. So like, I understand, I know what's going on. I have all the right info, I can make the right decision. And all of that went straight out the window.
gone. Yeah.
Every bit, all the rules are different. Everything's changed. I mean, never did I think that we'd have a thing where it's like we're basically under house arrest as people for everybody's safety and security. I mean, there's no playbook for any of it. And so that sense of not being able to control things was really a huge thing for me. Wow. And then in that with my relationship with Jesus then, to realize that I think that I thought that was kind of what my role with my relationship with Jesus was, is to be in control and to tick the boxes and to do the things that makes him go, good job, bud. But then to really realize that I'm not in control, he's in control. And well, I'm trying to realize it. You know, to be honest with you, like it's not something I think you just flick a switch and go, oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You're in control.
No,
I
it's
mean,
daily,
it's something
isn't
we're
it?
constantly, I want to grab back. But one of the scripture verses in that came up is, for me, was in James 4, where he talks about boasting about tomorrow. And he says, now listen, you who say, this is verse 13, today or tomorrow we will go to this or that city, spend a year there, carry on business and make money. And he says, why? You do not even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that.
Wow.
And I think just that idea that it's really like he's the one in control.
Yeah.
That's been a big thing to me. What about you though in this time?
Oh, thanks for asking, Josiah. Look, there's no doubt. I am, if you looked up, there's a story in Luke chapter 10 about Mary and Martha.
Yeah.
And if you looked up the definition of Martha in the dictionary, there'd be a picture of me.
Which would be kind of odd.
Yeah, it would be odd.
Not unexpected. Oh, there's
Yeah.
a bald guy's photo next to Martha.
Looks very much like Ross. I think if there's been a revelation, because Kathy and I have just had some extended time off, some of that was for my own personal health concerns. To be able to look at my life and go, I am a Martha, 110%. I am in the kitchen, I'm cooking stuff up. I get all these ideas, I draft everyone else into my vision, and then I criticize them for not fulfilling it the way that I thought that they should have. And I look at the Marys who are sitting at the feet of Jesus, and it's very easy to kind of look at them as, well, they just got a little bit more vision, a little bit more purpose. But the revelation I've had out of that story is that you can't cook in the kitchen until you hear what Jesus wants.
Yeah, wow.
And I look at Mary at the feet of Jesus, she's probably saying, so you want roast potatoes, filet mignon.
She can hear him.
She could hear him,
Yeah.
so she could go in and prepare what needed to be prepared according to what God wanted. Whereas Martha, she's just in there cooking, just assuming. I think you want, I assume you want.
Yeah.
And I think if there's my big takeaway, it would be that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, take some time first to hear it, hear the whisper, and then get busy. It's not an either or. Don't just get busy in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
with yourself and obviously your move to Tamworth and right where we are right now, you've just rebooted Sunday services. What do you think through it all God's up to? What's he trying to say to people right around the world? Because there's been a universal reset button hit.
Yeah. Definitely.
What do you think?
Well, first, I have no idea.
Okay, great. Thanks so much, Josiah, for joining us today.
Yeah. Now, how's that for wisdom, eh?
Yeah.
Going back to the control thing, I don't know. But one thing I am sensing really strongly is, I think, for me, a realization that what we are as a church and what Sunday is, say even just with that, just rebooting Sunday.
Church is not Sunday.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
It's the people.
There's that, it's like, well, the church can't be 1 hour of the week. There's 167 other hours, like you say, of the week.
Yeah.
But even with our time together and what we do, how easy it is to focus on content. And while we still need good content, let's do good songs and good preaches and all this kind of stuff, that really there's so much good content already there, like out there in the world. But what you can't download, what you can't podcast, what you can't YouTube is community.
Wow.
And it's easy to emphasize content and sort of think of community as hopefully a tack on extra.
Yeah.
When really, for me, I feel like one of the things God is doing is saying, actually, I want you to focus on building that community. I want you to create that space for yourselves in that. But then also too, let that community go out into your community.
Wow.
As well. That's what I'm kind of feeling in it all, is less emphasis on let's try to make sure we have all the best content in the world, into saying like, what if we built one of the best communities?
Wow. Wow. And I think that I know, and I'm speaking on behalf of people that bring a word, preach, pastors, but I think this does relate into our business communities because we're always, as a business leader, trying to think we've got to be ahead of the game.
Yeah.
We've got to be the innovative one. We've got to be the one, and there comes this personal responsibility. I know when I'm prepping a message that the future of Christianity hinges on this next word. And Elevation Church, when they hear me share this message, honestly, boom, it's going to transform. But truth be told, most people leave and can't remember the song service, can't remember the word.
But if somebody in the foyer made a connection with them that was actually a real human connection, they'll remember that.
They remember that.
Yeah.
Wow, that is, and look, like you, none of us know. And there is a plethora of voices out there right now saying, this is post-COVID, this is what it's going to look like. And I think we've got to be very, very cautious and careful, again, to not just be a Martha and start cooking, but to have a little bit of Mary in us that goes, well, God, what are you saying to us? And the word I always get is the word transformation, is that, and I love what you said, not just content, but community, because in the end, we want to be about our lives personally and the people we're working with being transformed.
Yes, absolutely.
So transformation just can't be 4 songs, a transition, meet and greet, 30-minute preach, and go grab yourself a coffee. There can't just be that.
Yes, sure, that's exactly right. And I think it's something for all of us as the church and as followers of Jesus to really take it as our responsibility. That's one of the other things I've realized is that the church as an organization, we can be quite funny in that I think we sometimes have thought we can be the one-stop shop. We're like the best concert in town, the best TED Talk in town, the best cafe in town, the best raisin toast in town. We're like everything you want, all in one spot. And we can put all that pressure on that organization, but really it's not with the community and with what we want to build. I think it starts with is not us coming up with the perfect program and it comes down from on high. It's us all as Christians is going, I need to build this community. I need to take personal responsibility for this.
It's almost, there's a word which we don't hear a lot about today, but it's almost the word discipleship. Isn't it? There's the thought. Jesus could have been onto something.
I think so.
So as we bring it to a close, there would be people that would be watching us today that may not have a relationship with Christ. This whole COVID crisis could have them searching right now. They could have just tuned into Elevation Church today. And what would you say to anyone who may not feel like they have a relationship currently or may not just be right with Jesus? What do we need to do about that? Because we've complicated it over the years, haven't we? It's
absolutely.
Never meant to be complicated.
No. And that's exactly right, Ross. Like what I would say to you is if you tuned in, whatever your background is or however you found this or you're watching this, wherever you are today, is that really the good news of what Jesus was about and what he was discipling and building in people's lives was not that we were ticking all the list or we had everything right or we were cleaning ourselves up, but really when we were far from him, when we hated him even, he came for us and gave his life for us as an expression to say, I love you. And there's no distance that I wouldn't go for you. If you think about it, if Christ already went to the cross for us, and if that's what our life and our love is hinged upon, well, I can never top that. I can't add to that. I can't take away from that. And so what I would say to you is that Christ and his love for you is there, it's real, and all you need to do is just, as you said, simply reach out to him. It's about surrender, really, and not magic words, but just saying, Jesus, here I am, or Jesus, I give you my life, or
I need you.
Jesus, I need you. And really, he said that everyone who asks receives, he who seeks finds, to him who knocks, the door will be open. And so it's really about your heart just knocking on that door and saying, Jesus, here I am. And then from there, let us know as a community that you have made that decision, whether it's you ticking on the I've made a decision box in the online chat, or you send us an email or fill in a red card online, all of those things, because that community then really strengthens that faith, and you find other people around you that are not so different, I think, and then that encourages you to go on this journey together of following Jesus.
That's so good. Well, thanks again, Josiah, for your time.
My pleasure.
And to you and Liv, we love you guys and so proud of you of what God's doing. And I can't wait to see and step into that future that He has for all of
bring it
us.
on.
at
Yeah,
Elevation
absolutely.
Church here.
We
So
love being a part of it.
bless you heaps. Have a fantastic week and look forward to being with you again soon.
What a great open and honest conversation just around what God has been doing in both Ross and Josiah's life. And you know what? In this time, maybe God's been doing something in your life. Can I encourage you to find your life group or find someone that you can just share those things that God's really been stirring in your life? Just before we go though, I do want to give us an opportunity to bring our tithe, and I want to thank you, church, for your generosity. And we have the simple ways to give, simply this. We have a generous app right now. Coming up in the chat right now will be all those details, or you can go online and give online. But once again, we want to thank you for your generosity. Thank you for joining us today, and we are looking forward to seeing you next week.